Welcome to section 2.6, solving a formula for a specific variable. Our objective today is I can solve a formula for a specific variable. So let's try one together. Jamal rides his bike at a uniform rate of 12 miles per hour for 3.5 hours. What distance has he traveled? So my first question I want to ask myself is, what do I need? I want to find the distance. I have my distance formula here, where d is my distance. That one right there. I also know my rate. My rate is 12 miles per hour, which is my r. And I know my t. My t is my time, by the way. And I know that my time is 3.5 hours. So it looks like I have all the pieces that I need in order to find my distance. So distance is already set apart, so I'm going to leave that alone. D equals, well, I know my rate is 12 miles per hour, so I'm going to put in 12 there. Then I can plug in my hours. I know that that is 3.5. So then I can use my calculator to find 12 times 3.5, and I'll get 42 miles. 42 miles is my distance. Okay, here's one for you to try. Go ahead and pause the video and try it out for yourself. Okay, now that you've had a chance to pause the video and try it for yourself, let's see what we have together. First thing I want to do is figure out what I want to find. And it looks like I want to find the distance. D. I want to find the distance. Next, I look for what pieces of information I'm given. I'm given the amount of time and the rate. So now let's plug in what I have, and we'll go from there. So my rate is 60 miles per hour, and my time is 5.5 hours. So then if I use my calculator, I will get 330 miles. My distance is 330 miles. So let's try this one together. Mackenzie wants to drive to Portland, Oregon from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, a distance of 385 miles. If she drives at a steady rate of 70 miles per hour, how many hours will the trip take? So this one's a little bit different because this time I'm looking for the number of hours, which is my time. I'm looking for my time variable. So I'm going to solve for my time variable within my equation. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by r to get time by itself. And what I do to the one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side as well. Excellent. So now I'm left with t is equal to the distance divided by the rate, which is exactly what I need. I have the time set by itself, so now I can look for what pieces I have and keep on going through our process. So right here I see that my distance is 385 miles. So I'm going to plug that into our formula. 385 over our rate of 70 miles per hour. I'm going to plug in 70, and that's going to be equal to our time. So now I can do this one on my calculator and find that my time will be 5.5 hours. My t will be 5.5 hours. Let's try this next one. We want to solve the formula for y and then find y when x is equal to 4. So I want to solve for y's, so I want to push everything that's not a y to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract 3x to get that on the other side of the equation. So I'm left with 2y is equal to 18 minus 3x. Now I want to get y all by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 2 to get rid of that coefficient. So y is equal to 18 over 2 is 9 minus 3 halves x. I'm going to leave that as an improper fraction. You'll see why in a second. So that's the first part. We've solved for y in our formula. Now I want to plug in x is equal to 4 in for x. Y is equal to 9 minus 3 halves times 4. I'm going to type this into my calculator now. And I'll get the number 3. So I find that y is equal to 3. And we're all done. Okay, why don't you try this first one on your own? I'll give you a second to pause the video and work it out for yourself. Now that you've had a chance to pause the video on your own and work it out, let's do this one together. So first thing I want to do is solve the formula and find h, and then find it when a is equal to 90 and b is equal to 15. So on this one, what I want to do is I want to get h all by itself in our equation. So first thing I'm going to do is try and get rid of this 1/2. So some people would recommend we divide by 1/2 to both sides, but instead I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. I think it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 2. So now I have 2a is equal to, well, this 1/2 cancel. So 2a is equal to b times h. So now I want to get rid of b, so I'm going to divide both sides by b. And that'll get h all by itself. I'll find that h is equal to 2a over b. Now I just plug in my numbers. I know that a is 90, so I'm going to plug that in. And I know that b is 15, so I'm going to plug that guy in. So I'll have 2 times 90 over 15 is equal to h. Excellent. So now I can just use my calculator again, and I will get 12. H is equal to 12. So why don't you take another second to pause the video and try this one out for yourself. Okay, now that you've had a chance to do that, let's see what's going on here. We'll use the formula to find the principal P when I is $2,160, R is 6%, and T is 3 years. So the first thing I want to do is I want to solve for P. I want to get P by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by RT. That's going to cancel the R's, and the T's are going to cancel. So I'll be left with P is equal to I over RT. So I know I right off the bat. I can plug that in. And I know T is equal to 3. So I'll be able to plug that in. Now what about this R is equal to 6%? I want to convert this percentage to a decimal. Okay? I remember that percentages are numbers that are out of 100. So this is like saying 6 out of 100. 6 out of 100 I can convert to a decimal, and I'll get 0.06. I'm going to take that 0.06 and I'm going to plug it in for R. Okay, now I'm ready to plug in all my numbers. So I have $2,160 over R, which is 0.06, times T, which is 3 years. That's going to give us our principal value. So I can plug that into my calculator, and I will get $1,200, or excuse me, $12,000. So our principal is $12,000. Thank you so much for watching this video and have a great day.